My mom left me when I was 10. I still remember the sound of her car driving away. My name is Jordan. I'm 27 years old now, but this story starts on a Tuesday afternoon when I was 10. She left on a Tuesday. People always think it's the dramatic stuff that breaks you, the shouting, the door slamming, the sobbing fights. But for me, it was the silence after. The empty house, the untouched breakfast plate, the growing realization that no one was coming home. And then the sound of a car pulling away. That's the last thing I remember from that day, the sound of my mom's car tires on the gravel driveway. I've never told this full story out loud before, but I think it's time. Not because I've forgiven her. I haven't. But because I want someone to hear it and maybe not feel so alone. Because being the kid your mom walked out on, it's a club no one signs up for. My mom was the kind of woman who lit up a room, or at least that's what people used to say. Blonde, funny, always the loudest laugh in the restaurant. She wore red lipstick and had this way of making you feel like you were the only person in the world when she talked to you. She was also impulsive, restless, and, I didn't know it at the time, deeply unhappy. My dad was a mechanic, quiet guy, salt of the earth. He didn't know how to talk about feelings, but he showed up every day. That was his love language, showing up. Mom? Her love language was leaving when it got hard. The night before she left, we had meatloaf. I only remember that because she never cooked. She made it like it was an event, set the table, lit a candle, even wore earrings. Looking back, it was her goodbye dinner. I remember her smiling at me more than usual. She kept touching my hair like she wanted to memorize what it felt like. I didn't think anything of it. I just asked if I could have seconds. That night she tucked me in, kissed my forehead, and said, "I'll always be your mom no matter what." I thought that was a weird thing to say. The next morning she was gone. No note, no bags, no goodbye, just gone. My dad didn't talk about it. He just stared at the front door for what felt like hours. I think he was waiting for her to walk back in like it was all a joke. Like she'd say, "Just kidding, needed a break." She never came back. At first, I thought it was my fault. I left my toys on the floor. I didn't clean my room when she asked. I forgot to say I love you that one time. Maybe she left because I didn't try hard enough to be a good kid. No one corrected me. The hardest part wasn't losing her. It was trying to pretend I hadn't. At school, I made up excuses. I said she was traveling for work, that she'd be back soon. I kept waiting for some teacher or counselor to pull me aside and say, "Hey, are you okay?" But no one ever did. You'd be shocked how easy it is for a kid to disappear in plain sight. My dad did his best. He started making grilled cheese for dinner every night because it was the only thing he knew how to cook. He worked extra shifts and tried to be both parents at once. But something inside him shut down. He stopped smiling, stopped making eye contact, stopped being there in the way a parent should be. We didn't talk about her. Ever. She became this ghost in our house, a shadow, a missing picture on the wall. Every birthday, I secretly hoped she'd show up. Every Christmas, I waited for a card. She never sent one. When I turned 15, I Googled her name for the first time. I found a Facebook page. She had a new last name, a new husband, a new baby. They lived in Colorado. There were pictures of her holding this tiny kid, smiling the same smile she used to give me. That night, I punched a hole in the drywall and cried so hard I gave myself a nosebleed. I never told my dad I found her. he never brought her up again. The years passed. I graduated high school, got a scholarship to a community college, worked 2 jobs, paid for everything myself. I was determined not to need anyone, especially not her. But here's the thing they don't tell you about abandonment. Even when you get stronger, you still carry the hole. When I turned 21, I got drunk and called her. It was 2 a.m. I was sitting on a curb outside a bar, half a bottle deep into cheap whiskey. I dialed the number from her Facebook page and waited. She answered. Hello? Her voice. I froze. It was her. After 11 years, the same voice that used to read me bedtime stories, the same voice that told me, I'll always be your mom. I said, It's me, Jordan. Silence. Then, oh, wow. That's all she said. Not, Jordan, my baby, not, I've missed you. Just, oh, wow. I don't remember the full conversation. I just remember asking, why? Her answer? I had to find myself. I was drowning. I said, So you let your son drown instead? She cried. I hung up. We didn't talk again for years. I went on to finish college, got a decent job, met someone, tried therapy. It helped, kind of. I built a life, a small, quiet life, safe, predictable. But I never stopped thinking about her. Every time someone mentioned their mom, I flinched. Mother's Day was a yearly gut punch. I'd see women hugging their sons in the park and feel like I was watching another species. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? When I turned 25, she sent me a message. I know I don't deserve anything, but I'm here if you ever want to talk. I stared at it for a week. Then, for reasons I still don't fully understand, I replied. We met for coffee, neutral territory, daylight hours. She looked older, not worse, just different, softer, more real, not the goddess I'd built up in my head, just a woman with regrets. She cried, I didn't. She said she thought about me every day, that she never forgave herself, that her husband knew about me and so did her other son, my half-brother. She said she wanted to make amends. I said I wasn't sure she could. We started texting, occasionally, light stuff, weather, news, pictures of my dog. It was awkward, like talking to a stranger who used to tuck you in. She tried hard, I'll give her that. She sent birthday cards, called on holidays, apologized a lot. I wanted to believe her, but trust doesn't grow back like hair. It comes back slowly, in patches. Last year, she came to visit. She met my girlfriend. We had dinner. She brought a scrapbook with old photos of me as a baby, ones I hadn't seen in nearly 2 decades. And at the end of the night, she looked at me and said, I know I wasn't there. I know I can't fix that. But I'm here now, and I want to be your mom again, if you'll let me. I didn't know what to say, so I said the only thing that felt honest. I don't know how to have a mom. That's where we are now, somewhere between healing and hesitation. She texts me every Sunday. I reply most weeks. Sometimes we talk on the phone. Sometimes I still hate her without meaning to. Other times, I picture what life could have been, what kind of man I might have become if I'd had a mother who stayed. But here's the truth. She left, and she doesn't get to take that back. But maybe, just maybe, we can build something new out of the ruins, something imperfect, uneven, real. I still remember the sound of her car driving away. But now, when I close my eyes, I can also remember the sound of her voice saying, I'm sorry. over coffee. Hands shaking, eyes full of tears. Both sounds live in me now. And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's enough.